fellow Movie Crusaders, and welcome to our latest episode, as today I'm going to be reviewing the sequel to the 2020 video game series, Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, for me, the very, very first Sonic film, like most people, when they first came out with the original design for Sonic in these movies, I was angry. I hated the way he looked. Our voices were heard by the producers, and they remastered Sonic and they made him look pretty much the way he should look. And then we got the movie, and I would say this, watching the first Sonic film, I actually quite enjoyed it. I mean, there's certain parts here and there that are directed towards kids that I wasn't necessarily loved, but I'm obviously not the age range they're looking for that. But the first Sonic film was actually, for me, an enjoyable film overall. I really liked Ben Schwartz as Sonic. James Marsden, to me, is always a criminally underrated performer. He always kind of plays the number two person in almost all the movies. I think he did a solid job. And then, of course, it brought back all of us back Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, this was the first movie in a long time, the first Sonic film, where I felt like we were seeing the old Jim Carrey back, and it was a welcoming surprise seeing him in that film. So when we saw the end of this first Sonic film, I guess spoilers, we were teased off that Tails, the beloved sidekick of Sonic in the video games, was brought into the world. So we knew we were going to get Tails in this movie, voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who actually voices Tails in the video games and the cartoons and all that kind of stuff. But we were also going to be getting Knuckles, who's another beloved character from the Sonic's franchise, this time voiced by Idris Elba. So knowing that we were going to get these two iconic, beloved characters in the sequel, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was going to be a movie that everyone was going to, at least if that were fans of the first one, were going to be excited to see, me being one of them. Jumping into the actual review for the film, the main plot is simply this. Sonic is doing his best to try to be a hero to everyone, but he obviously hasn't gotten the Spider-Man talk yet with great power comes great responsibility. But when Dr. Robotnik comes back to Earth with some help via Knuckles, Sonic and Tails must come up with a way to try and defend the world from Knuckles and Dr. Robotnik trying to get this Emerald of Ultimate Power. And that's basically the main plot of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. One thing that I remember I talked pretty positively about that I was actually worried about going into the first Sonic film is Ben Schwartz voicing Sonic. I love Ben Schwartz. I think he's a great voice actor, and I really love his comedy. And I actually commended him from the first film, because watching the first Sonic film, and I actually went back and rewatched it before I got to see the sequel here, I never really heard Ben Schwartz, just doing a voice of Sonic. Like, Sonic to me felt like Sonic. There was never a part in the movie where I was like, oh, there's Ben Schwartz. I hear him there. In this one, though, there were certain parts in the movie where I was hearing Ben Schwartz and not hearing Sonic. Especially for anyone who's fans of his character, Jean-Ralphio in Parks and Rec. There's one particular moment in the movie where Sonic says something, and it is such a Ralphio line from Parks and Rec that it kind of took me out of the moment in the movie, because it made me think of Ben Schwartz and not of Sonic. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, to me, one of the glaring problems that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 has, and once again, I know this is dedicated to kids, but you gotta think of it this way. Sega, it's our age range. I played Sonic when I was a kid. The main crux of the Sonic world and Sonic fans are my age. I know they're directing this towards kids and stuff like that, but this movie really doubles down on the kid stuff, the kid humor, the kid jokes, the let's do kid stuff kind of thing. And that part of the movie was obviously very annoying to me. I mean, to me, the biggest crime that the first Sonic did was that he had Sonic flossing in the movie like once or twice, which I can't stand flossing, but to watch Sonic do it in the first film, I absolutely hated it. But I think, to my mind, that was really the only kind of childlike thing that they did in the film, and they pretty much kept the rest of the movie pretty much on the straight and narrow. In this movie, there are times where they go off and do certain kid things that it kind of made me feel like I was watching an Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, where they are pausing the story's plot and pausing a very solid film to do a 5-minute dance battle to make the kids watching the movie be, wake up and have fun and laugh at the screen and stuff like that. But it's not doing anything to progress the story, progress the characters, do anything to actually make the story drivable. It's literally a 5-minute break to let the kids really enjoy Sonic and Tails and whoever doing funny, wacky stuff. And to me, it hurts the plot of the film overall. And same thing with Jim Carrey. I love Jim Carrey, and I love Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik in the first film. He's still very solid in this movie, but they do let Jim Carrey go way too far into Jim Carrey mode in this. There's a couple parts in the movie where they let him go to Jim Carrey, and you kind of just want him to reel it back a little bit. He also flosses, I think, at one point in this film. Nonetheless, though, Jim Carrey's still one of the highlights of this movie, but there are a few scenes where he goes, I guess I would say full Riddler, or full Jim Carrey in the movie, where it's just like, okay, the director really needs to reel him in here. Now, in terms of the rest of the human cast, that's also a negative in this film. The main problem one of the things that I actually loved about the first Sonic film was that the relationship between Sonic and James Marsden's Tom and their kind of buddy-buddy adventure going through everything. But in this movie, it's all about Sonic kind of being on his own and working with Tails and kind of doing their own journey, that they saddle Tom and his wife, Maddie, on a Hawaiian trip for her sister, Rachel's wedding. So basically, whenever I guess the director felt like we needed a break from Sonic and Tails and Knuckles and Robotnik, they go off to this subplot with Tom and Maddie and Rachel and her soon-to-be husband, Randall, played by Shamir Moore. And I'm sorry, that story is just not at all entertaining. It's not for anyone. It's not for the adults. It's, I guess, more towards the kids, kind of have some funny jokes. But no kid is going to want to watch these characters on screen instead of watching Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles on screen. And not to mention, to me, the worst part of Sonic the Hedgehog, the first film, was Natasha Rothwell's Rachel. She was the most annoying character. She was an unnecessary character. And anytime she talked, you just wanted to hit the mute button. So what does Sonic the Hedgehog do? They double down on the Rachel character by giving her more dialogue, by giving her more of a subplot, to one point where she hijacks the film for a good 5 to 10 minutes with her subplot, that literally, if I was watching this at home, I will fast forward through this every chance I get. It's an unnecessary subplot. It has no bearing to the actual story that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is trying to tell, and to me really derails the film going into the third act. The shining moment, though, of this movie, and why I still enjoyed Sonic the Hedgehog 2 to a degree, is Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Dr. Robotnik. Tails, voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy, she's fantastic as Tails. You see the love that she puts into this character. And with her, along with Ben Schwartz as Sonic, you love this team up between those two. And you enjoy watching the movie when it's Sonic and Tails. Idris Elba's Knuckles, I was a little worried what they were going to do with Idris Elba's Knuckles character. Now, granted, for a lot of people who don't know the Knuckles character, the best way I could describe him to you is kind of like a hedgehog version of Drax the Destroyer from Guardians of the Galaxy. He has some great funny lines, but he's not in on the joke. So sometimes he'll say some things that is just, to him, he thinks he's just talking normally, but it's just a funny joke. And him sizing up and teaming up with Jim Carrey's Robotnik is a perfect comedic pairing. When those four are the main plot, or they're the ones on screen outside of a dance battle halfway through the film, that is where the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 really finds its strength and really makes yourself enjoy the film. When they leave all the human stories and the kitty stuff on, out of there, you really actually can enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for what it is, which is a video game adventure with these four characters. Even when we get to the big third act battle, yes, it does go a little over the top, but in video game standards, it's kind of right up their alley. I actually had a lot of fun with it, and I enjoyed it for the most part because of that, even though there are parts of this movie that I just downright dreaded. So in terms of compare, if will I like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 if I like Sonic 1? The answer is more than likely, yeah. A lot of people are probably going to like the sequel better than the first one. I personally like the first one better than the sequel film. But I think if you enjoyed Sonic the Hedgehog, for the most part, you will enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog Part 2. If you did not like the first Sonic film, I do not think Sonic 2 is really going to change your mind one way or another. You might be more open to the Tails and Knuckles character, but I don't think what we get in this film is really going to sway you into liking this franchise more based off of what the first film gave us. So like I say, if you're a fan of Sonic, definitely check the movie out. Just lower your expectations going into it, but I think you're going to enjoy the film for the most part. Going to my overall score, I'm going to give Sonic the Hedgehog 2 a 60%. Like I said, take the kitty stuff, take the human story, especially Natasha Rothwell's Rachel character, out of the equation. I think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 would have been a superior film to the first one, but all those things are very prevalent in this movie, and by that means, it drops it down to a 60%. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys did, go and hit that like, share, and subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos pop up on the Movie Crusaders. And of course, don't forget to follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Coming up next, we will have reviews for The Outfit and Michael Bay's Ambulance, as well as Brian Michaels and myself will be back tomorrow night for our this month's Actor, Actress, Director Showcase. We will be talking about Michael Bay, Nicolas Cage, and Charlize Theron. And of course, next week we'll be back again for a weekend, or for the Movie Crusaders Chat About, where we talk about reboots, remakes, and originals. And the following week after that, about cult movies. And then we will also be back at the end of the month to talk about our summer movie preview. So we got plenty of videos coming out, so feel free to check them all out. And until next time, in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Movie Crusaders.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.